Ultimately, the question of morality is, why should I be moral? Perhaps the question can only be answered by each of us, in as much as the source and ground of ethics is our capacity for self-determination. Being moral will help you live a much easier and happy life. It is necessary for having a self-respect. It lets you see what is the true value in the world. We are taught by natural law that human beings possess intrinsic values that govern their reasoning and behavior. It illustrates that the right and wrong are inherent in people and are not created by society or court judges. Instead, we discover it by constantly making choices for good instead of evil. Being aware that we are diverse individuals, we come from different culture, follow different traditions, have different beliefs, views, and perspective. Because of this, we need to understand that we have different moral standards. This means that we have different set of standards and what we determine to be right and acceptable. This is because each individual experience is different from one another and we get our or base our moral standards from our environment. Through cultural relativism, we are able to understand the moral differences between cultures. According to cultural relativism, there is no right or wrong ethical system. The right or wrong judgment should be in parallel with the society's culture practice. This means that we need to be more accepting to different opinions and ethics as each individual have different cultures. Through utilitarianism, we are taught that effect of our action can either be good and or bad. The most ethical choice is the one that will produce the greatest good for the greatest number. It is a moral principle that holds the morally right course of action in any situation is the one that produces the greatest balance of benefit over harm for everyone. This moral principle enables us to weigh the well-being of everyone equally and help us to make helping others a very significant part of our lives. Through the ontology, we are taught that we have duty and obligations, and through our rational will, we have the capacity to act according to the principle that we determine ourselves. But through universality, we are taught that our duty and obligations or our maxims should be moral since it is conceived as if it obligated everyone to comply. It should be rational and should be motivated by our respect for the moral law itself. Morality seeks to enhance our lives, to help us to live better lives. It aims to provide us with a common point of view from which we can come to an agreement about what all of us ought to do. It tries to discover a more objective standpoint of evaluation rather than of purely personal preference.